Hey, welcome back to my channel. I'm Miss Natalie, a kindergarten teacher on a mission to empower you to confidently navigate your child's education. In today's video, we're going to look at the big goals for kindergarten. These are the goals academically and social-emotionally that your child will have as they proceed through their first real year in public education. I did try to keep these goals pretty general, knowing that people from a lot of different places will be watching them. These are based off of the United States Common Core standards and just my own experience as a kindergarten teacher. I've made a special document that accompanies this video so that you can have a full list of what to expect from your child this year. I'm not going to go over all of them, but I'll look at some of the big ones so you can get an idea of what to expect this year in kindergarten. You can find a link to that document below in the video description. Before I dive into these big goals though, please hit that subscribe button, and if you like this video, make sure to hit the like as well. Let's get started. So the first angle we'll look at their goals from are social, emotional, and functional goals. These aren't necessarily academic, but are the learning to be a person part of kindergarten. So much of kindergarten is just learning how to operate away from your family and away from familiar spaces in a room that can be crowded with a lot of different types of people. One of the biggest parts of that is just being able to manage your basic belongings. I can't tell you what an accomplishment it is in the first weeks of school if your child is able to walk in with their backpack and lunchbox and leave with it at the end of the day. And I do mean the correct backpack and lunchbox. Make sure you put your name on your kids' things. Everybody ends up with that same Pottery Barn lunchbox every year. The next big thing I want to focus on is solving common problems. If somebody keeps kicking you at your desk, you need to be able to say, "Hey, please stop kicking me, you're bothering me," instead of starting to cry or going to tattle or hitting that kid back. Other common problems might be the teacher passed out papers and you didn't get one. You'd be surprised how many kids just sit there, wait, and then cry when the teacher eventually doesn't notice. Coming to let me know that they lost their coat on the playground. Letting me know that they need to use the bathroom, though you really haven't been to kindergarten until you've wet your pants. And just general problem solving without having to cling to an adult to get through their day. If your child struggles with this, take them to the local playground a couple times a week and let them just rub shoulders with other kids. Walk them through how to solve the problem on their own without going to tattle every time. The next area I'll talk about is literacy. This is reading, writing, and phonics. By the end of kindergarten, children are asked to read simple books now. It's a lot different than the crafts and naps that we took when we were in kindergarten. Here's an example of a book that they may be able to read on their own by the end of the year. You can see that this is made up of lots of sight words and some simple words they could sound out on their own. But we don't expect them to start there. We expect them to start somewhere here. This is a basic pattern book. A pattern book like this has the same pattern of words on every single page with just one difference in word. If they hear an adult read the first 1, 2, maybe 3 pages, they should be able to pick up the pattern and read it on their own just by copying you and guessing based on the picture.
I like to sing.
This is the very beginning of starting to read, just mimicking what they know. But to move on from here, they're going to need to learn some sight words. Sight words are the most frequently used words in the English language, and many of them do not follow common spelling patterns. Words like the, we, were, what. Words we see a lot, and if you don't know what they are, they're going to really slow you down. Take a look at the page in this book. If you knew the sight words, you could easily get to it and then just sound out that tricky word at the end there. But if you didn't know any of the words on that page, or you had to take time to sound out a few of those, you would not be reading independently. Now, my big push as a kindergarten teacher is 100 sight words by the end of the year. This can really vary from school to school. They know 100 words, that means that they can read a variety of books and do quite a bit of writing on their own. If your child lands at about 50 during the year, they'll be okay going into first grade, but 100 will set them up in a really good spot. I start this early on in the year. Once kids know about 75% of their letters, I push them onto the sight words and break it down into a monthly goal. In addition, children should be able to write up to 3 sentences on their own. The spelling doesn't have to be perfect, but it should be something that an adult could read without assistance. This takes a really long time, so I recommend you look at journaling with your child. I made a great video about family journaling that will get your child well on their way to writing by the end of the year. Moving on to math. By the end of the year, kindergartners should be able to count to 100 by ones and by tens. Skip counting's pretty fun for kids, so you can probably push them to learn their 2s and their 5s as well. The more skip counting they can do, the more set up they are for multiplication in 2nd and 3rd grade. When I say counting to 100, that does mean starting from a random number too. Anyone can count from 1 to 100, but do you know what comes after 71? Do you know what comes after 56? Starting at a random number shows that they've truly learned the number sequence. We also do addition and subtraction. In kindergarten, we add and subtract within 10 and memorize the problems within 5. But no, in 1st grade, they typically are adding and subtracting within 20. If your child is ready to do more, I would push them for that. The big goal for me long term is to get them as solid as possible with adding and subtracting, because division and multiplication blows kids' minds. We want to give them that good stable foundation in kindergarten and 1st grade. They'll need to write their numbers up to 20. Number reversals, where they write that 3 backwards, are completely appropriate through kindergarten and 1st grade. But once your child knows the numbers pretty well, you should be able to nag them a little bit and say like, what number is that? It's backwards. And they should be able to see it and reverse it. So those are some of the kindergarten big goals for the year. If you want to see the full list, look below in my description. I have a lovely PDF I created to share with you. I did intentionally leave off social studies and science. This is because every state takes that on differently and there's not a national standard for each grade. If you like this video, please subscribe below. I put out new videos every Tuesday. Make sure you like this and share it with one friend. My name is Natalie and this is Primary Focus. Thanks for watching.